Hey everybody, Philipp Schnetzky here. In this tutorial, I wanted to talk about advanced jazz chords. So in my last tutorial, I was talking about a concept which I find very important, which is to go for chords that have a root, a seventh, and a third, because I find these three notes are the most important notes. They tell you what kind of chord it is. The root tells you what kind of chord it is. The third tells you whether it's a major or a minor chord. And the seventh tells you whether it's a dominant chord or basically whether it's a minor seven or a major seven. So if this concept is not clear for you, I highly recommend that you watch my last video. In this video, I wanted to go a bit further, just take the next step, play some beautiful chords and explain to you guys where they are derived from, so from which shape they are derived from. Yeah, so basically just play some beautiful chords, show you guys all my secrets, and I hope that you get something from it. So let's start with a minor chord. So this would be like the basic building block here. So it's an A minor 7. Yeah, I'm playing an A, a G, and a C. So root, minor 7, minor third. And what I like to do here is add an 11, which is a beautiful chord by itself. But then, if you do a little bit of hand yoga, which is not that easy, it's actually easier to play the open A string. Then you can add the 9 here on top, which is a B. It always depends on your hand and on the guitar. This one has a very thick neck, so it is possible. Much easier with the open A string. It also gets easier if you do it here in a higher position. So E minor 9, 11 would be this. Obviously, you can also play the open E string. So this is a chord I'm enjoying. As I said, you have to do some thumb, have to go for the thumb here, playing the root, otherwise it gets tricky. This is one of my favorite chords, so let's see. I wrote down here on my little cheat sheet C major 9 sharp 11, or C major 9 sharp 11, which in the E shape would be something like this. So I have my C, which is the root, so then a B, the major 7, E major third, and then on top again I'm using the thumb here to play the root. It's a bit easier here. The F sharp is my sharp 11, and the D on top is a 9. So E minor 9, 11, C major 9, sharp 11. Then what I like to do is, instead of adding a sharp 11, I like to add the 11, or you would probably call it a 4 in that situation. So let's say you want to play a D7, and I like to add the 4 like this, or you can call it an 11, whatever. And then still you have the little finger here to play either a 9, or it also sounds nice if you go for the root, but then let's see if I can manage this. So let's take a few steps back. So my building block, if you want to, is D, the root, the dominant 7, so the minor 7, and a major third, which makes it a D dominant chord. Then I add the 11, and then either the 9 on top, or I play the root here actually, which, you know, means you don't have to play the, you can do it like this. Or if you manage, you know, an A7 at 4, this is how I would call this chord, would be something like this then. Or E7 at 4. E7 9 at 4. With the F sharp being the 9, seeing from the root note E. A7 9 or A9 at 4. So this is another chord that I really like to play. Let's see. These were all chords derived from the E shape, so this shape basically. And I'm gonna go to the other shape, which is very important, with the root note being on the A string, and then either adding a minor third or a major third, minor 7, major 7. And so let's see, A minor 7 13 is what I wrote down, or A minor 13 would be then something like this. So what I have going here is an A, a C, an F sharp. So instead of the minor 7 on the G string, I first go for the 6 or the 13, whatever you want to call it. And then I play the 7th, the minor 7th, on the B string here. And then you can, on top with the same finger, with the first finger here, the index finger, you can play the C, so you're doubling the third, the minor third. Or E minor 7 13. Which are beautiful chords, I find. Then G major 13, so like the same kind of approach, but in a major chord version, derived from this A or C shape actually. So, you know, your C major chord, making a bar chord out of it. And then now, again, going for the 13 or the 6th first, which is, so I have here a G, a B, an E, which is the 13 or the 6th. Then adding the F sharp on the B string, which is the major 7th in that case. And then you can repeat the major third on top of the on the high E string. Which is another beautiful chord. So A minor 7 13, G major 13. And then I love this chord also. There's no third in it. You would probably hear a major 7th chord derived from a shape in that case. So, you know, A major, making a bar chord out of it, D major, and then adding the C sharp major 7th. And then instead of playing the major third on the B string, leaving it out, adding the 9, which is here in the first finger, and then doubling the major 7th on the high E string. We can make it the 13, B, C sharp is the major 7, B is the 13 or the 6th, or the 5th. Okay, one last chord, which is this shape. So what I have going on is like a C13, my root, then the 13 first, and then the minor 7th, then the E on the B string, and the 5th, the G on the high E string. Or you can even go for a, you know, another 13 here. I just like this minor 2nd here. Speaking of minor 2nd, what I also like to play is this one, which is a G minor 9. So I have here the G, the 5th, the D, then again the, or not again, but here the 9, but going for this minor 2nd here. So from the 9 to the minor 3rd, and then adding the 7th on the B string. So G minor 9, C 7 13. Okay, and then the last thing I wanted to mention, this video is getting long, so I'm gonna wrap it up quickly, is what I really love to do is combine all these kind of shapes that I just showed you with open strings, so as much as possible. Don't know, so going back to, let's see, this A minor 7 13 chord here, for instance. So you can add, you know, instead of doubling the 3rd, so I have here an A, a C, an F sharp, a G, and another C. So you can, instead of the C, of course, just play an E, which might get even more beautiful. Let's see, let's make this a D minor 7 13. So I'm doubling the F, so it's D, F, B, C, F, and instead of this F, you know, just get rid of it and play the open E string, which is the 9, seeing from the D. So yeah, so you are playing a D minor 9 13, D minor 6 9. There's the 7th, the minor 7th in it, so you would probably call it actually D minor 9 13, I think. So as you can tell, you know, there's a bit of finger yoga involved. It's getting advanced. But the main thing I wanted to show you guys is, like, if you think about the notes, and if you see that you can add an open string, then the chords get really beautiful. So just this, what I just did, is also nice. It's a D, F, and C with the open B and E string. Or if you go for an F7, F, A, E flat, you can add the B, which is the sharp 11, and maybe an A on top, or maybe it's C, or a D, which is the 13. Going to a B7, B flat 7, I mean, sorry, B flat, A flat, D, and F, and then adding the E, which is the sharp 11. And last chord for today. Let's see. Yeah, let's go for this one. So it's an A minor 9 13. So A, G, and C, which is your building block. This is how I like to call them. But then adding the B, which is the 9, and then a 13 on the high E string. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. You know, basically I was just sharing all my chord secrets. I hope I gave you some inspiration, you know, to, you know, go for some jazzy type of chords yourself and experiment. Maybe watch the other 2 tutorials I uploaded recently. And yeah, good luck, and I hope to see you soon. Ciao.